Well, BarstoolBuddhas, we're here. Where the hell are we?
You have to tell me.
We're on top of a mountain above Rishikesh at a place, a temple called Kunjapuri, where, like Morrison said, waiting for the sun. It's a very holy place. You come close to seeing God for a number of reasons here.
Coming up the steps.
There's about 300 steps that we didn't capture because we're a little late for the sunrise.
312.
312. We'll take a picture for the show when we go back down, but it is extremely physical to get up here, isn't it?
It is.
Yeah. So we're going to film a little, let's take some pictures, but basically we're just going to shut this off and just kind of
enjoy this sunrise.
Taking the vibes, as the hippies say, and they're here too. They're in the corner doing yoga.
Yeah, they are.
So we're well representative for everything. See you in a little while. All right, BarstoolBuddhas, we're back. Some people would say we're still here. I'm Jai.
Rip.
So what we're going to do today, and you might have seen on the opening, we're playing with some video stuff we've never done, and it probably looks really amateurish, and that's not a problem. It's better than watching ABC. So what we opened with was what, Rip?
Our trip?
Well, yeah.
To?
Kunjapuri.
Yes.
It's a temple on top of a mountain outside
Stairway
Rishikesh.
to heaven.
Yes, it was, almost, for many people. But there's a couple segments on there that we went up to see the sunrise. It's a big deal to see the sunrise up there. It's really, really beautiful.
Amazing.
And the end of it was the yoga's students or whatever, they're chanting for the rising sun. That's something that Hindus do. They love that. Mm-hmm. Get the moon out of the pond kind of thing.
Yeah.
So, but there's a history behind that temple. In India, there's something called Shakti Peeth, which is centers for Shakti, which is their worship of the mother, of the divine feminine energy.
All right.
But what happened there was the significant story behind that. In the old days, Shiva, who is the Hindu god of destruction, married Sati. And Sati was a princess, and she had a king for a father who was not real pleased about this whole thing that her daughter married the Lord of Destruction.
Right.
So, families are families. So at some point, the king had this big celebration called a yagna, which is a big fire sacrifice. They throw in grains or whatever, and it's like when you toss it in, it's kind of like going to confession. You're offering your best, your worst, and letting God deal with it, and you walk away feeling really good, right? Mm-hmm. So that's not to make light of it, but that's the gist of it. So Sati was kind of upset because she wasn't invited, because he wouldn't invite Shiva. So she goes anyway. What woman wouldn't do that, right? And so...
Social event of the year.
In the midst of all this, she decides she's had enough.
Mm-hmm.
She throws herself in the fire, immolates herself. Well, Shiva finds out, and he is not a happy camper. Now, Shiva, when he's unhappy doing his real thing, he does this Tandava thing. It's a dance, the dance of destruction.
Right.
Well, Brahma, who's the guy who supposedly created everything in their Trinity, he gets worried that the whole universe is going to go away. So they did what they did, and they calmed him down. So he goes up there and he gets her body. He drags the body all over northern India, and pieces and parts fall off. And everywhere a piece and a part of Sati fell off is now a holy place. There's a temple or a Shakti Peeth or whatever. So it's not to make light of any of this, but that's the story, and I'm not much of a storyteller. But if you really want to know more about it, find somebody from India or a really old hippie. They all know the story. So anyway, that's where we went. It was a really sacred place. It's a really nice place.
Yeah.
And you go up there and you go up this windy road. It's not the most dangerous road we've ever been on in India, but it was, when you get out of bed and start going up some side of a mountain in India, it kind of wakes you up.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. You don't need coffee, no espresso.
So in our taxi driver, as taxi drivers in India are wont to do, they tell you your schedule. We wanted them there well before light so we could get there. So that goes to the story of why I looked like I had already died when I made that video, because charging up 300 some odd steps to get to there on time to see the sunrise it's really kind of hard to do. A life of watching television and sucking down beer, it comes back. And there you go. So, so that's what that was about. And then, of course, we captured the people chanting, which was really nice. It was really, and the temperature was great. It wasn't
perfect.
Yeah, it was screaming down in the valley during the day, but it was nice. So, we did that, and then we came back down, and so you'll see on a couple of the video clips, we went down to the banks of the Ganges River, and we walked around. We went up to the Beatles ashram. This video won't be a complete tour of the ashram because that would take a whole video, but we walked around the grounds and did some stuff, and so we just talk about it. So again, we're not a tour guide, so if you're looking for a tour of the Beatles ashram with all the pertinent fan stuff, you need to go on YouTube. There's 10,000 of them.
Yep.
So that's what we're doing. But the trip in and of itself, I want to talk about Rishikesh for a minute. I've been there many, many times, and I love that place. It's called the International Home of Yoga, and lots of people come there. There's lots of places to train and stay, and it's usually just a really nice, light, breezy place.
And we happened to get there during a pilgrimage.
There was a pilgrimage called the Char Dham, which starts every end of May or middle of May or sometime. And they go to these 4 temples in the Himalayas, which are the 4 sacred dhams. That's what they call them. And they open only for a short time because in the mountains, the summer is very short. So they close them during the winter season. So they have an official opening, and it's based, I guess, on the lunar calendar and some stuff, astrology, whatever. Well, part of that pilgrimage is going through Rishikesh and taking a dip in the sacred river.
Which we did.
We got there while everybody was dipping. So it looked like a traffic jam in Delhi on Friday afternoon. It was constant back-to-back cars, trucks, and there's only a couple ways through that town. And as fate would have it, our hotel was on the other side from the river.
Yeah.
So we had, everywhere we went,
and it was straight up a hill.
Oh, yeah. We had to go through that whole thing every time we did anything. If we would eat, walk around, it did not matter. And then the heat kept climbing every day.
Hottest part of the year in
It was
India,
over 100
May.
degrees most days. But
the
it
dry
was,
season, too.
It was really lovely place, and we got to see a lot of things. And had a really nice place. We stayed up there as like a guest house, and it had a really nice veranda on the roof. And in the morning, the breeze would come through. As the sun would come up, it created some kind of thing through the mountains. And you just get this breeze for about 45 minutes, and then it turned into a flamethrower. But it was nice while it lasted. So that's kind of what we did. And, we did this after we came back from Nepal. The other video, we had some things in Nepal, and we're going to go back and forth with the videos just to see how they fit and, break things up. So
the guest house was awesome. We had a fresh breakfast every morning.
Yeah.
Fresh bananas. The bananas are unbelievable in India.
Yeah.
Until the monkeys stole them that one morning.
Yeah, monkeys. Well, they come and sit on the porch, and the monkey guy, supposed to keep them away, was doing whatever he was doing. The banana guy came, and the whole thing just went sideways. And had what was the guy's name that was running that guest house?
Prakash.
Yeah. Anyway, he would prepare the meals every morning, and there was only maybe 4 or 5 of us in the guest house. Mm-hmm. And it was really, really nice.
He arranged our taxis and stuff.
They arranged.
Excellent.
Yeah. The people in India are really, really, really hospitable people.
Yes.
Really, very nice. Mm-hmm. And so we had a great time there. One of the things in Rishikesh, it's the gateway to the mountains. It's where the Ganga comes down into the plains, and it's just a really lovely place. In many ways, it reminds me of East Tennessee, especially when you get up. Pass through Walling, go through Townsend, just the lay of the land of the mountains. It looks that. But then above them are the big mountains, which are really, really nice to see. Mm-hmm. So that's kind of what we were doing up there. So we had some interesting places to eat there. The food was extraordinary in India this time. Everywhere we went, it just seemed to be better. It's almost like they were in a competition or something.
What do you call the truck stops?
Davas.
We ate in a place that most people wouldn't go in.
No, it wouldn't stop. It wouldn't even stop.
The food was incredible.
It was really good.
It was loud, though, wasn't it?
Well, all the pilgrims, we didn't know what was going on when we left Delhi. And it was like they got a new highway, so we were really excited. Instead of taking 8 hours to go 100 miles, it took 4.5 hours or 5 hours to go 100 miles. But it was very crowded. I was kind of confused why there was so much traffic. And when we stopped at the dhaba, it was just in mayhem. but the food was it was
it's
well worth it,
incredible.
well worth it. So,
And then the Pink Cafe
yeah,
in Rishikesh.
the way Rishikesh is laid out, there's like sections that are actually their own little town, but they
Right.
all look like the same town. So you've got Muni Ke Reddy on one side, Swarg Ashram on the other side. Then north of that's Lakshmanjula. And then on the other side, you go to Tapovan. And then there's a line where the district, I guess what we call maybe not states maybe, but counties.
Yeah.
So within those towns that I just mentioned, there's no alcohol, there's no meeting, it's a holy place. So if you want anything other than veggie food or anything else, you've got to go somewhere else. Well, there was this place called the Pink Cafe. And you go up the hill towards Tapovan through all that traffic, because that was the road to go to the Char Dham. And it was the most insane, and 24/7. It never stopped.
How we didn't get run over out on him.
We had to wander through. Now, sometimes we get a tuk-tuk to go up there, but it was easier just to walk because it was so hot and those things are blowing all that wonderful brown, black smoke, and you could choke. So we had to walk up there, and then we had to come back. And sometimes the road was blocked off one way, and you couldn't get anything. We had to walk through all that, and it was really an experience at night. You really cherish your life when you're walking through there. I'm going to die. I'm going to die. I'm going to die. But it was really nice.
Yeah.
And so between that and the guest house, we had a really good time. We ate really well. We wandered around through the crowds. There was a lot of people there.
Cattle in the streets.
The cattle are
They always find Jai.
They always find me. I don't know. The cows try to kill me, and the dogs try to worship me. I don't know what
The dogs lay at his feet.
Yeah, the dogs just come gather around me. I've tried to figure that out, but somebody likes me.
When we were at Kunjapuri, those dogs were running all around, and you sat down on that bench, and they all sat down around you.
That was
At least they didn't try
was
to bury me
surreal.
like a cat, you know?
it was surreal.
So, what were your impressions? I mean, you hadn't been to Rishikesh before. I'd been there several times, but what did you think?
Very holy place.
Yeah. And
The crowds were interesting, but it was just everywhere we went, we dealt with some merchants, and they were all very accommodating and very, very friendly. Of course, they're in business to do that, but it was genuine. You didn't feel like it was kind of, car salesman kind of.
yeah, we had this one
approach.
place where I purchased some stuff, and they double charged me. The credit card thing is a really interesting thing in India. So it wouldn't work on one machine, so they put it on the other. It would go to another bank, and it ended up charging me twice. So I looked at my phone the next day and said, oh, my God, they charged me twice. We went down there. I showed it to them, and it was easier than getting a refund here. It really was. And matter of fact,
They gave you cash.
they want to get it back out of the bank, but they gave me cash. And the Indian money is like you get.
Oh my God.
You get 84 of their dollars for one of yours. So if you get any money at all, you've got like a wad this big. You need a backpack to carry your refund. So, but they were really, really nice about it. And so, and that part of India is geared towards pilgrims and tourists. So I wouldn't say it's like Gatlinburg, but I guess for India in some ways it is like Gatlinburg.
It did have that kind of vibe.
And being from the West, it doesn't seem as cheesy as it might to some people. But the Indians, I guess, they get trinkets and all the stuff that you get, just like we, they buy bears in Gatlinburg or whatever,
Couldn't go to Gatlinburg back in the day without getting a bullwhip.
Yeah, there you go.
The Rebel Corner.
Yeah, Rebel Corner. Oh, well. So, yeah, it's a really nice place. We really do recommend Rishikesh. And it was very, very nice. We were actually in Delhi some, too. We didn't put anything in here about Delhi, but there's a place out by the airport now that, what is it? Aero City.
That place was awesome.
Now, it's kind of expensive. I mean, if you're going to India to go on a cheap trip, Aero City is not the place to go.
But it still wasn't expensive.
It was not expensive, and for what you got, and
It's kind of like the Manhattan of Delhi.
it's just really great. It's close to the airport. That's its claim to fame. And you got a metro right there. You can go back to the airport. It's the next step up, or you can go all the way downtown. It's a kind of express line, and you can go down and do whatever you want to do. And we did that. We went downtown, saw a few things, but it was screaming hot in Delhi.
Gosh, you could fry an egg holding it in your hand.
Yeah,
It was
and
hot.
so a little story. When we planned this trip, I planned it first, and he found out about it. Says, "I want to go. I want to go. I want to go." Well, he couldn't get on the same flights I did because I book them months in advance, and that particular route fills up. So I said, well, if you can do this and do this and do this and do this, you can get there. We'll meet in Delhi and everything will be fine.
Yep.
And it was till we went to leave. And then we go, and I go to the airport first, and I'm sitting in the airport. My plane gets canceled, and I'm there for another 2 days, going back and forth to this hotel they put me up. We didn't know when we were going to leave, if we were going to leave. And so about the time I said, it'll be tomorrow, I go back to the room, go to sleep. They're banging on my door. You got 5 minutes to get on the bus. The plane's leaving. Welcome to India. But it's nice. The plane back was a 777, and there were 47 people on it.
Out of 50.
I would just move. It's a 15-hour flight. I would just move every hour or so, get a different seat, see if I got a better view of the window or something. It was nice. And they fed you constantly because they had food on the plane. And
My flight back, 15 hours, I had the middle seat, and the woman next to me in the aisle seat never got up. I had to climb over her every time I got up.
was she still alive?
I thought something was wrong with her. I told the guy next to me, I said, we're going to be here for a while because they'll have to come assist her to get her off the plane after everybody else debarks. We get to we land. She jumps up, grabs her bag, gone.
Move.
She didn't get up for 15 hours.
It's just like Zen-like. Don't move till you have to move, and when you move, move.
I was climbing over her.
Yeah. The Indians are interesting people to travel on an airplane with.
Or go through luggage.
They've got the whole thing down. They come back and forth to the U.S. and the luggage that they drag. No, this is not to denigrate them, but it's like a mule train. When an Indian family gets off there, goes through luggage, it's like a moving van. They need to get out of that because they're bringing all the gifts from India to their family, and when they go back, it's the same thing. Mm-hmm. I got some friends in India, and every time they would leave, it's like, oh my God, your excess luggage is going to cost more than your ticket. I've never seen such things, but they're experts at doing it. They know what to do. If you get lost in the airport and you just follow the Indians, they know exactly the drill.
But there's no such thing as a line.
Oh, no, they don't know how to line.
There's no line.
They call it a queue.
There's no line.
And it's not much of a line. The immigration is very effective and efficient coming in.
Mm-hmm.
But going out,
oh my God,
you stand in this room and these lines that go back and forth, and it's about 20 degrees hotter than it is on the street. I think they want you to be uncomfortable, so that when they look at you, they know whether you're the good guy or the bad guy. And then their security is like, oh my God.
Yeah,
it's just like everybody, they try to keep them in line, but by the time you get there and they've ripped open your bags, there's 16 people trying to grab bags, and it's like, if you make it their security with everything you own, you're a seasoned traveler. And then you get out and you're in the gift shop. You always exit through the gift shop, no matter what. Duty free.
Yeah.
So that was I wish we could say something more appropriate about Delhi, but we did have a good time in Delhi. We went to the Birla Temple. That was really nice. Yeah. Big temple. I've been there many, many times. I always go there. And we went to get a shout out to the United Coffee House.
Oh, that place is awesome.
Down in Connaught Place. It's old. It's inside. It's got it's like an opera house inside, the roof, the vaulted roof, and all, and the food. You just don't have enough stomach or time to eat everything you want to eat when you go in there.
Food is so good.
It's unbelievable. It's old style. They got waiters with a little thingy on their arm. Yeah. Sir, what will you have today? Yeah. Everything. Okay, yes, sir. That will take 30 minutes.
Remember the kid we met?
Which one?
That knew all about U.S. politics?
I don't remember him. Tell me about it.
Oh, he was the
guy on the street.
Yeah.
Yeah, we were waiting for this Palika Bazaar, which is an underground mall in the middle of Connaught Place. There's a big park there, and underneath there's this just unbelievable place. And he just started talking about politics, and he went on and on and on and on.
he knew more than the average.
He knew more about what was going on here than we did.
It was interesting.
He was a good guy. So we really encourage you to go. And, I love India. I've been there a lot. This was his first trip to India and Nepal. And so what do you think about the differences?
They move at a different pace. India was great, but Nepal was just laid back. I felt like I was around people I'm around all the time here.
Yeah, they're really nice in Nepal.
Yeah.
And we went to a couple places. I think on our last video, we talked about the Busy Bee Resort and Bar. Yeah. And we're still in touch with those folks. Yep. They're great people. So if you ever want to go to Nepal, look those folks up. They'll take care of you. And and we talked about the Kathmandu guest house, which is this is an oasis in the middle of 6 million people. But it was really nice, and I would really like to go back sooner than later. Of course, looking
Going
at
back.
me, it should be sooner. But,
Going back.
nah, but it's nice. So, do you have anything else on this? Yeah, it's kind of like a big nothing burger, but the videos ought to make people chuckle. So
Yeah,
we'll try to put this. So this is the first one we really tried to embed any videos or anything in because we really don't know what we're doing.
Yeah, he does it all.
And so we'll see how that works and give us some comments and anything. And we'll be doing some more of these and we'll capture more things. Like I said, the people who really want to see what's in the Beatles ashram, we'll have another video or so with some pictures and stuff. But it's really worthwhile if you go out on YouTube and look at that. You'll get a really full picture of what's all in there. Because some people make their whole video about things there, and it's worthwhile to look at that. So I think that's going to be it for today. What do you think?
That's it, Jai.
We'll see you next time, maybe. All right, BarstoolBuddhas, we're back. Where are we back to?
Rishikesh.
Rishikesh, India, the international home of yoga, for as they say here, Om Sweet Om. So we're sitting on the banks of the river, across from what's called Swarg Ashram, and we're getting ready to go up on the hill, the old Maharishi Mahesh Yogi TM Ashram, where the Beatles visited in '68. A lot of good songs were written up there. They shut it down for years. Maharishi kind of left and went into tax hiding in New Jersey, I think it was. Allegedly, right? Allegedly. And so the forestry department took it away, and now it's a tiger reserve, and they welcome tourists in. You got to wonder about that, but there are no tiger reserves as far as I know. But they've made kind of like a mini museum, and you can walk around and see all the stuff, and we'll be looking at some pictures and things, and then we're going to wander around on the other side when it gets hot, find some place to sit up there. Maybe we'll go to the Little Buddha Cafe up in Lakshmi Jula. So we're going to start the trek. We'll talk to you soon. All right. We've completed the threat. We're back again. So right now we're in, I guess it's called, is it Rajaji Tiger Preserve something?
Yes.
Tiger Preserve, Elk Preserve. There's actually not any tigers here, for what I could tell.
Hope not.
This is actually the home, like we said, of the Maharishi Mahesh Yoga, where the Beatles came. They call it the Beatles ashram here. It's so important we had to show our passport to get in.
Yes.
So, and pay how many times? 5 times, 6 times what they paid. Look.
Yeah, locals.
Well, I really don't care. It's worth the trip. So, this is the entrance. We're going to go up and look at a few things and
show you some more.
Take some pictures. See you then. These things that look like giant beehives are the places where you used to come and meditate. You go in here and isolate yourself for a while and chant your mantra or whatever it was, and you come out the back door enlightened, I think.
I guess so.
But you have to be careful if the back door drops off about 1,100 feet into the river. But I guess if that's what you're looking for. But there's a lot of them here, as you can see. A whole lot of them. Some of them are in disrepair. Some of them not too bad. Most of the stairs are rotted away. Many of them have paintings in them. Like the main hall has a lot of paintings. People have put a lot of Beatle things in there. We'll go check that out. You have a wonderful view of the Ganges from up here. I don't know if you can hear it on the tape, but you can hear it running up there. It must have been awful peaceful to sit there and meditate and listen to the river. What do you think?
Absolutely.
Yeah. So, I've been up here at different times of the year, and sometimes it's just perfect up here. The temperature and the wind, and you can hear the river. And, Mia Farrow, the Beach Boys, all these folks, Robert Donovan, that's very famous. They wrote a lot of songs up here for the White Album.
Right.
And like Dear Prudence and a lot of Mother Nature's Son, a lot of things. I'm not a real historian, so I don't want to say much. I'm rarely accurate at best. But you can see the banks of the Ganga down there. And underneath here, which you can't see, if you go down along the river, turn it around, If you go far enough down, they're embedded in the side of the river are caves and some rough buildings where the real yogis live. They still live there to this day. And you really don't want to go down there. They won't run you off, throw rocks at you. But they're doing their thing, and they should be left alone. So if you're going to come over here, don't run down there and say, Josh says come down and look at the real yogis. So we're going to continue to go around and give you a little more information when we come back.